Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we've got something quite interesting, actually, sent in by one of you. It's a photo.
Right, a photo of moss, but with these, well, unusual yellow patches on it.
Exactly. So our mission, if you will, is to sort of unpack why this might be happening. What does this tell us about the environment right under our feet?
hmm We're using the notes you shared along with that photo, your notes on gardening, which gives us a great starting point.
Yeah, it's a great observation. It really shows how even small things in nature can be quite, well, fascinating puzzles, really.
Absolutely, and it's a perfect way to talk about some basic ecological ideas, just on a really tiny scale.
Okay, so let's get into it. The main thing noticed was this contrast, right? The moss is normally green, but the photo shows these clear yellow areas.
Which the person sending it in found fascinating, and rightly so. It's a visual signal that something's changed.
Yeah, it makes you wonder immediately what could cause that.
Well, the notes you sent were quite thoughtful. They suggested a few key environmental things. Should we start with the sunlight idea?
Okay, yeah. Excessive direct sunlight. The note suggested it's kind of like moss getting a sunburn, degrades the chlorophyll.
That's a good way to put it. Chlorophyll, that green pigment, is sensitive. Too much intense light can damage it through photooxidation.
So the green fades and maybe other colors show through?
Precisely. You often have yellow pigments, carotenoids, underneath. They become visible when the green chlorophyll breaks down.
Interesting. Okay, the notes also mentioned lack of moisture. How does being too dry cause yellowing?
Well, water's essential, isn't it? For everything a plant cell does, including photosynthesis.
Right.
So when moss dries out, those processes just grind to a halt or slow way down. That stress can also lead to chlorophyll breaking down, again, revealing those yellows.
Okay, so sunlight, water, stress. What about nutrients? The notes mention nutrient imbalance.
Uh-huh. Like all plants, moss needs specific nutrients. Nitrogen is a big one. It's actually a key part of the chlorophyll molecule itself.
Okay, so if there isn't enough nitrogen, or maybe magnesium too.
Exactly. If those are deficient in the soil or wherever the moss is growing, it can struggle to make enough chlorophyll. Or the chlorophyll it has might not be stable, leading to, you guessed it, a color change.
And there was one more environmental factor mentioned, just natural aging, senescence.
Yes, senescence. Parts of the moss patch could simply be reaching the end of their natural life cycle.
And cells just become less efficient, produce less pigment.
That's right. It's a natural process and can definitely cause some color variation, some yellowing or browning in older parts of the moss.
Okay, so those seem like the main contenders based on environmental stress. But the notes also considered a couple of other things, then sort of ruled them out.
Right, like maybe it was just a naturally yellow species of moss mixed in.
Yeah, but the note taker looked closely, did some online comparisons, and thought that was less likely. Why would that be?
Well, the notes mention the sort of gradual transition between the green and the yellow.
Not like a sharp line between two different kinds.
Exactly. You'd maybe expect a more distinct boundary, maybe even a different texture or form if it were a separate species growing right there. The description suggested it was all the same stuff, just different colors.
Okay. And the other idea ruled out was lichens. Those are different organisms altogether, aren't they? That fungus-algae partnership.
They are. And lichens often look quite distinct. They might grow on the moss or among it, but usually as their own structures.
Not usually as just a color variation within the moss layer itself.
Generally, no.
Okay.
Based on the description, yellow integrated into the moss lichens seem less likely to be the main explanation for these specific patches.
So when we pull it all together, it really does seem like those environmental factors are the most plausible explanations, just like the note suggested.
Sunlight, water, nutrients, maybe some aging, one
Mhm.
or a combination of those things.
It's kind of amazing, isn't it? How much you can potentially learn just by noticing a simple color change on some moss.
It really is. It's a tiny window into the stresses, the conditions, the adaptations happening right there. It shows how connected everything is, the organism, and its immediate environment.
It really does make you think about, what other subtle clues are out there that we usually just walk past.
Hmm. And that brings up a thought for you listening. What unseen forces might be shaping the look of the plants, or, well, even the fungi and mosses in your own surroundings?
Yeah, maybe next time you're outside, take a closer look.
Exactly. Notice those small shifts in color, in texture. They might be telling a fascinating story, but the incredibly complex and vibrant world right there beneath your feet.